right, welcome to another episode of Smack Talk, Leave It on the Court. I am your host, Cerebral. I got one of my co-hosts with me today. What's going on, Joe?
What's up, man?
It's been a long time.
It has.
Joe has got this kind of evil, devilish grin on his face because we started arguing before the podcast started. So
this asshole.
Let's get to the game in question, and then we'll talk about it, okay? So we're gonna start off talking NFL. We're going to talk Thursday Night Football, Saints Cowboys, which I think all of us kind of wrote off as the Saints are going to do what the Saints have been doing all season. They're going to score 30-something points. They're going to blow them out. They're going to, do what the Saints do. And I was 100% on that same bandwagon with everybody else. And then the game happened, and the Saints didn't score a single point in the first half.
No, they didn't.
The Cowboys' defense has quietly been improving over the last handful of years because, 4 years ago, they were dreadful.
They don't even have Sean Lee right now.
And they don't need him.
Bullshit. I mean, yeah, they don't need him, but he's the type of player where regardless, you can't sit him. He's
not – I'm not saying he's at the same level as these guys I'm about to mention, but he is the Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher of that defense. He is incredibly important, but – there's a culture built there now. Kind of happened overnight where that's a really good defense. That's a top 5 defense in this league.
I think they win 4 straight or something like that. I mean, Dallas has been on an absolute tear.
And we wrote them off. I think we probably wrote them off a month ago, and in my opinion, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Dak was playing like crap. The offensive line couldn't get it right. Jason Garrett didn't know how to give the ball to Ezekiel Elliott in the second half. I didn't see a way that the Cowboys could win the division. I thought that they would probably, teeter and stay in it.
Yeah, but we also thought Philadelphia was going to be better than Philadelphia's being. I mean, Philadelphia, you tell me they won the Super Bowl last year, I tell you you're tripping.
It doesn't even look like the same team.
Terrible.
Not even close.
They're terrible.
You can catch a year-long heater.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Right.
And that's what Philadelphia did. Now, I'm going to give them a little bit more credit than that because I think Carson Wentz coming off of the ACL injury does matter.
For the most part, though, Philadelphia was the best team for the whole season.
In the end. Basically,
right.
Yeah.
And you don't – excuse me. And you don't see that very often.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
especially in the NFL.
Especially in the NFL. Basketball, Golden State kind of run the table for the most part. I mean, they'll have their blunders, but you know who the best team is. You don't see it much in baseball. Boston this year.
Yeah.
The Cubs in 16.
Yeah.
Houston last year.
Rarely.
So, I mean, I guess it's not as rare as we think it is, but
football, it's not.
The tides change so much.
Oh, definitely.
You could have any given Sunday for the whole year. You know what I mean?
It has been any given Sunday all year.
Because you got the Colts who are – where the fuck did this Andrew Luck come from? For people not to be talking about Andrew Luck,
comeback player of the
you're
year.
Tripping.
Comeback player of the year.
Easily. No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the Saints and Cowboys go, I mean, yeah, I understand that the Saints have a high-powered offense and Drew Brees throws for 350 yards a game and 4 touchdowns or whatever it may be.
Right.
But it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. So for you to say they're not a contender?
No, I'm not saying that the Saints aren't a contender. Okay. The Saints are still a contender.
Okay.
But now we have to look at teams that have...
Are you really going to add Dallas over Chicago, though? I mean, realistically?
I'm honestly, seeing what Dallas did gave me hope for Chicago.
Because, really?
Yes. A team that is predicated on defense and timely offense can beat the Saints if the situation is right.
I feel like your guys' offense is similar except Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, Dak ain't much better than Mitch, and Mitch ain't that much better than Dak. I mean, they're about the same. Mitch has a better upside because Dak's been in the league for a few years and he still can't.
I think our play calling's better in Chicago, though.
Yeah.
And that might make the difference.
Possibly your defense is going to keep you in games.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as your offense can score.
As long as our offense can keep up with a reduced ability, high-powered offense,
right,
then you have a chance.
Right.
And that makes you a contender.
Right.
So that's I think in the NFC for the longest, For the longest time, I think we all would agree that the Rams and the Saints were the two teams that we really banked on.
Honestly, I mean, yeah, the Saints did go on
10-game.
a 10-game win streak,
Yeah.
and it wasn't until about game 7 where I was like, okay. And I think that was a game where we beat the Rams.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
like,
That's when you finally came around. Like,
damn.
yeah, we
Okay.
might have this.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now we lose this game. Yeah, Dallas, they're 7-5. I mean, if you want me to be honest, every time we play Dallas, it's not a surefire win, no matter how bad they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like who could I compare it to? How when the Seahawks were easily the best team in the NFL, and the Rams would tie them when they were the worst team in the NFL.
Dude,
It's
the Rams
just-
were the
it's-
by far worst team
It's just
in that
that
division.
they easily.
Yeah.
It's just they just bring it out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can compare it to North Carolina and the Longhorns in basketball. I don't think we beat them in the last 4 or 5 times we played them.
Mm.
Shaka Smart is just
He knows.
he knows what's up. So every time we play the Longhorns, I got to hear Malcolm because he's a Longhorns fan.
Damn.
I texted him first after this last game and said, "Fuck you and fuck the Longhorns." He said, "Damn, I was going to give you at least a day, but in that case, let me start now."
Come here, boy.
But it's just there's just certain matchups that they just come to play, and they're never a wash, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean
Never an
you're
asshole.
absolutely right. There's some teams that just have your number. And this very well could be what that is. It's just it was a shock to see.
For a team that's scoring 30 plus a game,
and sitting their players in
and
the
they
fourth
score
quarter.
10.
They've sat their players in the fourth quarter on 3 separate occasions this
Why
year.
not? For what? You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree with you, but
because,
I'm saying
because the one that's going to get you in field goal range is Drew Brees.
Yeah.
And he threw for 127 yards.
Yeah.
But you ain't getting no fourth quarter comeback drive out of that.
that last interception was he got that on a hope and a prayer.
I didn't watch it. I went to bed. After we got shut out the first, bro, that 4:30 wake up call comes quick.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So as far as they shut us out the first half. We shut them out the second half. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they just happened to score one more field goal than us.
Yeah.
I understand where your question comes in with the Saints being a high-powered offense, and they really got Dallas was all over that shit.
Yeah.
All over it. Eli Apple, you can go back to New York if you're going to play like that. Straight the fuck up.
No, you're right. I think what this game showed for me is that it opened the door for other teams, not just the Rams and the Saints. So and it really just two teams.
Yes and no, because the Bears, I don't think they're ready yet.
I don't think they're ready either.
You
but
have
ignorance is bliss.
you have a big test next week.
Yes, and that's where I'll be willing to further this argument.
Me too.
I may
Me
shut
too.
the fuck up after next
too.
week. Very well,
Agree.
right? And I'll admit that now.
Agree. But if you somehow lose that game, if you somehow win that game, you go 13-3.
And now you got to consider a serious chance for a first round bye.
Because I like to talk shit, obviously.
Of course, that's what we're here for. Smack talk.
But the way the Packers are looking right now, y'all could beat them.
You talk about teams that just have your number. That's the game I'm most afraid of
Yes,
on the remaining
because
schedule.
I think the last time y'all beat them in Lambeau was Thanksgiving a couple years ago.
Well, this game's in Soldier, though.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, because the opener was in Lambeau.
Oh, okay. Well, then, when was the last time y'all beat them at home?
When Shea broke Aaron Rodgers' collarbone.
Who?
When Shea McClellan broke Aaron Rodgers' collarbone.
That was last year?
No, that was like 3 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extreme circumstances, though.
But, you also had, I don't know, you guys are a different team than you were week 1. I'll give you that.
100%.
Defense more conditioned. Defense ready to play 4 quarters instead of 2.
Mitch has
Y'all
a better
could've-
control.
Definitely. His his decisions got better.
Yeah.
Matt Nagy's a great play caller. That's evident.
Yeah.
You see what they were doing last year in KC.
And that translated here.
And they got better talent in KC than you guys do offensively.
100% agree.
You know what I mean?
I do
So
agree,
if
yeah.
Matt Nagy's able to do it with this offensive talent, That's a good look for you guys because the defense is going to stay. I mean, Eddie Jackson, the most touchdowns, the most defensive touchdowns since 2016.
Yeah.
And he was drafted in 17. So in 2 seasons, in a season and 12 games, he's got 5 defensive touchdowns?
Yeah.
Bro.
Guy's good.
Bro, that's what y'all need because the offense is capable of putting up 45 points.
This defense has.
You need the defensive scoring.
The Bears defense has 20 interceptions on the year.
That's phenomenal.
They had 7 last year.
Yeah, it's a big improvement. But see, the thing is right now you're almost playing with house money.
You are. Oh no,
you're
it's
a year
100%.
early.
You're at least a year early.
But you see what happens when you're a year early with the Cubs. They win it and then slowly been trickling.
As long as you win it,
you're right.
I don't care.
You're right. You're 100% right. But with the talent that you have, you don't want to see that dynasty cut short.
No, of course. So, I guess what I'm saying is that that Thursday night game made the rest of the NFL season a lot more interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because essentially I was waiting on a Rams Saints rematch in the NFC Championship game where I was going to see, all right, who's going to have the tiny defensive plays, because that's what it was going to come down to. That's what it basically came down to the last time that they played.
Right.
And I'm just curious to see how it goes out. I want to see how the Bears do against the Rams. I want to see who does get those first round buys, because the Bears have an outside chance to get one of those first round buys. But if they beat the Rams, they've got a legitimate shot now.
Yeah. I mean, but to do it, though, you have to beat the Rams, like you're saying.
100%. You got to win out, honestly.
Let's see.
The remainder of the Bears schedule, I can tell you off the top of my head.
Yeah, I was going to look up the remaining Rams.
I don't really honestly see a team that's going to be able to trip them up.
But the Saints just got tripped up.
100%.
You know?
I guess it really depends on what's the defenses that the Rams have left on their schedule. And I know one of them is the Bears.
Let's see. Rams.
It's always an easier way to do this.
Have it prepared. Let's see. So the Rams got the Lions this week. Bears, Eagles, Cardinals, Niners. So
the game
you're probably looking at them going 15-1. Depending what happens next week.
15-1, at worst 14-2.
Mm-hmm. So the Saints got to win out to match that.
Which I would imagine the Saints still have a game left against the Panthers. If not 2, because I don't remember the Saints playing the Panthers yet.
Give me 1 second, buddy. I'll tell you.
As a Saints fan, you don't know that off the top. It's crazy.
Bucks, Panthers, Steelers, Panthers. Oh.
I knew they hadn't played the Panthers yet.
I forgot we got to play the Steelers.
That's tough.
Fuck you.
Show
your face.
I think the Saints are a better team than whoever they've got left in their schedule, but the Steelers are going to be hungry. The Panthers are going to be hungry.
Look, we lost to the Bucks, okay? First game of the season.
So that game against the Bucks, get ready for a light show.
We can easily go 0-4 right here, okay?
The Bucks are in a different place. You guys are going to run up the score on the Bucks. I don't see Sean Payton pulling the starters at any point in time. He's going to go for
Panthers, though, that does scare me. 2 times in 3 weeks.
Yeah. Because there's one thing that the Panthers are going to do. They're going to play a physical game. Mm-hmm. And playing that twice and
you, for your fantasy sake, you better hope they run the score up. Because it's playoff time for y'all, ain't it?
Look, I need this week bad.
Mm-hmm.
I win this game, I get the best record in the league and a bye. That Thursday night game did not do me any justice.
All I'm saying is you better not make the playoffs for the first time in X amount of years and lose the first game. That's all I'm fucking saying.
You're right. You're 100% right.
But yeah, as far as
shout out to Cam Jordan, man. That strip fumble sack recovery, needed that. Love.
So what's the rest of the Bears schedule?
Off the top of my head, it's Giants today, then Rams. So what, they got 4 games left?
I don't know. You're the Bears fan. I can tell you off the top of my head. Remember?
It'd be Giants, Rams, Packers, Vikings, if it's only 4 games left.
Giants, Rams, Packers, Niners, Vikings.
Okay. So there we go.
I mean, y'all beat the Vikings already. So
week 17 games are really hard, especially when you're both playing for something.
And you're playing at Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. Which, honestly, I think bodes better for the Bears because their offense is a lot better designed to be indoor, good weather than it is in Soldier Field in December.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Just don't lose this week to the Giants. Okay?
AK will never shut up.
Just don't lose this week to the Giants.
Oh, it's important.
It's important.
It's hugely important.
It's very important.
So, let's talk about that game, Bears-Giants.
What about it?
We should, as a Bears fan, we should not lose to the Giants.
No, God.
But
your
I would venture to say the Giants have more top-end talent. Well, no, I'm not going to venture to say. I do know. The Giants have more top-end talent than the Bears do. They just do.
Yeah, okay, but with that defense, rushing Eli's terrible when the offensive line isn't playing good.
True.
So if that defense is going to smother that box, I mean, Saquon will probably still do his thing because it's Saquon.
Yeah, I was going to say Saquon Barkley.
But
probably
is Eli going to be able to get the ball to Odell?
The Bears secondary has not had to work nearly as hard because they don't have to defend as long. I think the deep ball is going to be out of the question.
You see the weather that's going on right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I understand that they're playing in New York.
Yeah. East Coast weather ain't that much better.
No. Rain showers, 50 degrees.
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to get the ball to Odell? Because that's who I feel you're talking about when they're more talented is Odell.
And
obviously Saquon's better than Jordan Howard, right?
Yeah.
And Tariq Cohen.
As a collective, he's better.
As a collective, yes. But Tariq Cohen can still get the job done.
Oh, Tariq Cohen is underrated still. He's not perfect, but he's
so if it's going to be a ground game, I feel like it's almost up for grabs.
If it's a ground game, it's up for grabs only because the Bears' defense makes it that way. With the combination of the Giants' offensive line, I still think that Matt Nagy can put together a game plan in these conditions. Mm-hmm. Now the wild card is that Chase Daniels is your quarterback again today.
Again?
Yes.
Yeah, but bro, for his fucking first game in 2,000 days or whatever the fuck it was. You know what I mean? Well, it was like 1,800 days since his last touchdown or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. Bro, he came out and did his thing. I'm not even going to discredit that.
The Bears have a history of having great backup quarterback play.
Chill out. Great. That local great.
Better than most.
Systematic and play calling has a lot to do with that, though.
I put a lot of it on luck, honestly. But for this situation, systematically and play calling, 100%.
Look, Chase Daniels was our backup in New Orleans.
Yes.
Since he came out of Mizzou.
Right.
The guy, I don't even think touched the fucking ball.
So
I can't say, yeah, you guys got one in Chase Daniels.
But then he went to Kansas City and he was back up there.
But for what he did on Thanksgiving for you guys,
Short
I'll take that. 250 yards, 3 touchdowns,
no
right?
Picks.
No picks.
That's
had a solid. Let me see. Let me see the stats. Hopefully they show up here.
I don't not believe in Chase Daniels, but it's not the ideal situation, I guess is what I'm saying.
And 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, no picks. 27 for 37. Bro.
That's a good game.
I'll take that.
Yeah, that's a solid game.
That's the kind of games that Jim McMahon was putting up when they had that defense in '85. You know what I mean? Yeah. So fuck it.
Yeah.
Who cares? But I feel like Bears fans, and this might include you, it might not. You guys want a great quarterback so bad. You know what I mean?
I want a good enough quarterback.
Because, to be honest, I'm blessed. Drew Brees, he's been my quarterback since 2005.
Right.
And even when he was in San Diego, he was still getting the job done until that shoulder injury. Packers fans have had Brett Favre into Aaron Rodgers. Are you fucking kidding me?
Colts fans had Peyton Manning into Andrew Luck.
Yeah, Andrew Luck's starting to get it back now, but for them first couple years, he was incredible.
Yeah.
So for a team that's never had a great quarterback, chill out. Let the defense do their thing and just Nickel and dime them. Do what works best.
I can speak for Bears fans from this, and I know what you're talking about. Basically, what it comes down to is that we've heard for the last 15 years, if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance. And
that's false, though.
I agree with you. It is false because there are examples of teams that won with game managing quarterbacks in the last 15 years.
Who's the dude on ESPN? Trent Dilfer?
Yeah. That's a little longer, but yeah, you're 100% right. Peyton Manning's last Super Bowl, he was carried there by the defense. Let's be 100% honest. Standard. It was the defense that did that whole thing.
Right.
The Seahawks, I think Russell Wilson is a better quarterback today than he was when he won that first Super Bowl, but he was a game manager. A good one, damn good one. Game manager.
Russ has his hot periods where it's like, damn, he just threw for 350 and 4.
Yeah.
And then there's the periods where he throws for 216, 2 touchdowns, but they win by 14 because the defense is just obviously that's not the case anymore.
Well, that defense is actually improving quietly.
Yeah, but
they're still behind.
Way behind. I mean,
the Rams,
Earl Thomas, Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Bobby Wagner. You know what I mean? I mean, you had
a defensive force
straight up. So it made the job easier for a quarterback like Russell Wilson. And I'm not taking anything away from him. He can still run the ball. He can still make plays. Pocket collapses. Russell figure it out. So it's not like he's got to stay in the pocket, and then get smacked. He can create the plays and he can extend the plays, but so can Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
And Aaron Rodgers is nowhere near as athletic as fucking Russell Wilson. No way. Well, no way. What are you going to say?
I'll give you that. I think Aaron Rodgers is sneaky athletic because you look at his body type compared to like Russell Wilson, and it's like easy. It's like, of course, Russell Wilson's more athletic. But I've seen Aaron Rodgers move around, and it's like, all right, you got a little bit more to you than it looks.
Definitely, but I mean, that's like...
Pocket awareness has a lot to do with that too, though.
It does.
Because he knows where to slide, when to slide, how to slide, and who else is on the field too. So there's that. We're getting away from it a little bit. So there's a lot of conditions going into it, but if you have to pick right now Bears Giants, who are you picking?
I'm going with the Bears, strictly based off the defense.
Same. I'm going with the Bears, hometown team. Interesting enough, I have a bet that I'm probably going to lose. I'm not even mad about it.
What, that Duke North Carolina bet?
Nah, I ain't losing that bet.
All right.
I had a bet at the beginning of the season about the Bears winning 10 games, and I bet against them because at the beginning of the season, I just did not see it. There's no chance in hell.
No way. But that you also probably made that bet before you got Khalil Mack. Just like Cap on ESPN says, Bears are going 9-7, and I'll bet you this and that. Well, I haven't been listening to ESPN radio, but I can imagine.
He thinks he's a god right now.
I'm sure he does.
I think I made that bet right before they got Khalil Mack. But even after they got Khalil Mack, I still said I'm still holding true. They're not winning 10 games.
You lost that bet.
I lost that bet.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm okay with it.
I'm sure you. What was the bet?
It was a decent amount of change. More than I'm willing to give up at the moment. But,
really?
Mm-hmm.
To who?
A friend. Just a drunk Bears fan friend that don't know shit. And I got to pay for it now.
I mean, you might possibly get lucky and lose out.
Oh, then I'm just going to be mad. Honestly, if the Bears
do you want to fucking give the money up, or what do you want?
How much money do I got to pay to make the Bears a contender? I'll pay it, whatever.
Stop with this contender shit.
We'll talk about it next week.
Stop with this
contender shit. We'll talk about it next week. Anyway, we got to go to a little less fun subject because we're going to stay on the NFL. I don't know how you want to tackle this. We don't have to stay on this very long, but Kareem Hunt. In February.
Did not learn anything from Ray Rice.
Well, and I put that on Kareem Hunt and the NFL when you say that.
But see, go ahead.
So those that don't know, Kareem Hunt, there's video footage of, in February, him pushing and kicking a girl in a hotel.
Did you watch the video?
I did watch the video. The kick was bullshit.
The kick was absolute bullshit, and the push was him pushing his entourage, and he pushed into her.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning the shit in any way, shape, or form. Bro, don't put your hands on a female. Plain and simple. But
And the look of
but see, the thing is, bro, is these females get fucking froggy, dude. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're 100% right. Man.
They feel, oh, I'm a woman. You can't hit me. Yeah, all right.
But you know what? She's right. She's 100% right. She knows it and you know it, but you fell for it.
True.
So you could look at this a bunch of different ways, and in no way, shape, or form is anyone condoning putting hands on a woman. But as a professional athlete that has everything to lose and nothing to gain from this situation.
As an average U.S. citizen, average human being, you have to live your life like there's cameras everywhere.
Yes.
Plain and simple, especially the way technology is nowadays.
Because there are cameras everywhere.
They are. You get in a fight on the street, that's going on World Star.
It's on Instagram immediately.
Like that. So for him to not be smart enough, for him to not do the shit, but then again, you look at the shit and it's bullshit, but you did it.
It's enough. You watch the video and it's like, that's going to cost you. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. It's like, I didn't think it wasn't as serious as the Ray Rice video. That was just daunting. But you watch the video and it's like, yeah, bro, that's going to cost you.
But see, the thing is, it's still would you consider it domestic violence? What would you consider it? Because they're obviously not together. But assault on a woman, whatever it may be,
it's at the very least assault. It's a very least assault.
It's under the same umbrella, no matter what he did or what he didn't do or how it compares to Ray Rice or how it doesn't. But for the Chiefs to just drop him like that.
Well, they said when it happened in February and they asked him about it, they say he lied to him. And that was it for them. It was like, all right, we asked you about this. This isn't what you said happened.
Yeah, well, see, and that's the thing, bro. It's like, how do you almost blame Kansas City for not getting the facts? Because they see it as, okay, well, this is what he told us. We need his production on the field, so this is what he told us. Let's write it off and call it a day.
I am willing to give.
Saying?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Because they obviously want him and need him on the field.
Definitely. I'm willing to give the team a pass because it is the league as a whole's job to govern these situations. And watching and looking at what we were looking at before we started this podcast, the NFL didn't interview the girl nor Kareem Hunt. But they said they did a thorough investigation. You didn't have the footage. You didn't interview anybody. What the fuck did you do?
Right.
So after the Ray Rice situation and you got killed by the media for 2 years straight, and people are finally starting to, come back around as far as that is all concerned. Mm-hmm. You did a worse job here than you did with the Ray Rice situation.
Yeah.
There was footage and you didn't interview nobody? You didn't even give Kareem Hunt a chance to lie to you. So now that gives Kareem Hunt a little bit of bail as far as how that situation was handled. Because it's like, well, the NFL didn't ask me what happened, so what am I supposed to do? And that's a legitimate thing to say.
It says that the NFL tried to get the tape twice, but the hotel would not release it. They would only release it to law enforcement.
So with that, and people are saying, well, then how did TMZ get it? Because that's who released this video.
Bill Belichick.
Oh, yeah. Well, Bill Belichick said, not beating them.
Did you see that meme?
Yes, I did. That is some Bill Belichick shit.
Man.
Hey, look.
That is, bro. Y'all fucking Patriots are some fucking cheaters, man.
Ruining Kareem Hunt's career like that.
Man, God damn it. Y'all still ain't gonna beat the Steelers, so it don't fucking matter.
Playoff Patriots are way different. I don't know how.
I don't give a fuck.
You just hate them.
With the passion, just like you hate the Packers.
Oh, God.
Right. Just like you hate the Cardinals, just like you hate the White Sox. It's all the same.
Hey, you hate those last two teams, too.
Just like I hate Duke.
You hate the Cardinals and White Sox probably a little bit more than I do.
For us, it's just a fan thing.
Yeah.
It's strictly a fan thing.
And we're both friends with White Sox fans. I'm friends with a bunch of Cardinals fans too.
There's like two of my friends that cheer for the White Sox that I would consider fans. That's about it.
Yeah, all my White Sox friends, like, they don't. I know more about the team than
I hate the Cubs.
I got one. I got one White Sox fan that like legitimately.
But see, and on the contrary, if you're a White Sox fan or a Cardinals fan or a Duke fan or whatever the sport may be, if we can talk about it and debate about it, I don't hate you.
100%.
I just can't stand it. Back to Kareem Hunt.
Back to Kareem Hunt. Okay. So, how the fuck did we get there?
It just happens. We just ramble.
So back to Kareem Hunt. I guess I want to transition and ask you this question. Is he ever going to play in the league again? And I ask that because obviously...
I feel like that's a hard question to answer because you don't know what's going to happen next.
You don't. He's on the commissioner's exempt list right now.
Right.
I mean, I don't really think there's that much more
it says
facts to come
here, Hunt could sit out not only the rest of this season, but well into next season too.
He could.
So, is it going to be a situation where he don't play for a year? What happens? Turns into Le'Veon Bell. Now what? What happens?
When Ray Rice was basically suspended for 2 seasons, he had already shown that his production was going down.
That is true. We did talk about that.
So when he was eligible to come back, it was like, all right, you weren't still the man, and now you're 2 years older. I don't know. Kareem Hunt is younger. Kareem Hunt is productive now. He is a huge, huge part of the Kansas City Chiefs offense right now.
Does this affect the Chiefs going forward?
100%. There's no way it doesn't. You can't, towards the back end of the season, lose your stud running back and everything be good on the back end.
Who's their backup? Spencer Ware?
You know better than me.
Fuck if I know.
I know D-Mob looked it up because he was going to try to pick him up. Already gone. That's how quick this shit went.
Who picked him up?
I don't remember. I know it wasn't John.
Yeah, John don't give a shit. He's done.
He's done. So I look at this situation and it's like, okay, because we all know the truth. Talent dictates how much they're willing to put up with.
It does, but in the same sense, you already got the NFL's already under a microscope in America. I mean, you got the whole kneeling situation.
Mm-hmm.
You got
the Ray Rice situation.
Ray Rice, now Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
You got issues with discipline, and you're giving players what was the original suspension for Ray Rice? Like
2 games.
2 games.
Mm-hmm.
So you're giving Ray Rice 2 games for beating the shit out of a woman, but you suspend Josh Gordon for smoking weed. 16 games the whole season.
Longer. That motherfucker missed 3-4 years.
Well, yeah, but
that's how it originally started. You're right.
You get caught for something and you keep doing it again. That's on you.
Yeah, true.
But for the first time, you get 16 games for smoking pot.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, dude. How does that even fucking compare? You should have got 2 games for smoking pot and
16
and been on the commissioner's exempt list for beating the shit out of a woman.
I agree.
So you're not consistent with your discipline whatsoever,
and it's been clear since 14.
And when we were down at the academy, and you living with 2 parts of the state, you got guys that are saying they don't fucking watch the NFL because of the kneeling and all this and all that. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's probably not enough to make a dent in how much the NFL does make. But it's reality to the situation.
It's affected their numbers in the last 4 years.
It just shows like people are really boycotting this shit.
Viewing was finally starting to go back up. I don't know what this does. Because this basically, the NFL just fumbled this whole situation.
They've been fumbling a lot of situations. And you Roger Goodell, I mean, who else do you put it on?
Yeah. It all comes back to Roger
Shit
Goodell.
goes wrong in America, you blame the president.
Mm-hmm.
Shit goes wrong in the NFL, well, Roger Goodell's the president. Mm-hmm. So it's your blunder that you got to fix.
And they just extended him. And I'm not a fan of Jerry Jones at all, but Jerry Jones was screaming at the top of the mountain, why are we extending him?
Right.
He's giving you nothing but bad press. He's made you a shitload of money. I get that. But he's giving you nothing but bad press. You've lost viewership. And in a time where viewership should be going up,
it's going down.
When it's a lot easier to consume this material than it has ever been. There was you could watch Thursday night games on Twitter at one point.
I remember when Thursday night games were only on NFL Network.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have NFL Network, well, you were cooked.
Yeah.
Unless the Bears were on it and you could watch it on Channel
Local
8
games.
or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now you got Monday Night Football on ESPN, which if you have basic cable, you don't get to watch.
Yep.
I'm sorry, no. Thursday nights are on Channel 12,
which is basic.
I believe.
Yeah,
which is basic.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but you got the Super Bowl, which is on basic.
Yep.
But when it comes to sports like the NCAA championship, that's on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
So other sports, I mean, you can still get it with, like you said, the way technology is.
Streaming services.
So it shouldn't be hard to keep your viewings up. But like you said, if they're going down, they keep going down.
And they've blamed it on people not watching TV anymore. There's plenty of ways, and the NFL is the easiest product to consume on Sundays.
Because we're not falling for that cable scheme, bro.
No.
You are.
I'm not falling for it. Me and Comcast, we got a bad relationship. Really bad relationship. I say I want to cancel. They basically tell me no. I need internet.
True. But see, I would fall into it too because I like going to the Golf Channel or ESPN and not having to watch all the shit on my iPad on a fucking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it makes sense, but you're right. The way streaming is and the way all that shit is, there should be no excuse why you can't watch the game.
Yep.
If you're not watching it, it's for a reason.
Mm-hmm. It's it's 100% intentional trying to prove a point reason. So I think this is gonna cause more turmoil for the NFL.
If they don't get it right.
They've already got it wrong.
True.
The way that the situation came to light, the way that the story broke, the way that the NFL has already.
Yeah, there is no reason TMZ should have reported that video.
Now, TMZ had got the video, so people are asking, okay, why didn't the NFL get the video? That's the point I was going to make. That's what I mean. TMZ paid for it. NFL's not going to pay for it. To some degree, I understand the stance of this is a lot more morality to it. This is a legal issue. We shouldn't have to pay for this. TMZ don't give a fuck.
No.
They'll drop whatever dollar amount for whatever if the story's juicy enough.
Right.
And guess what? The story was juicy enough.
Yeah,
so,
it got him kicked off his fucking team.
It got him kicked off his team. It got the NFL in hot water. I think maybe the NFL may need to change their approach, and you may need to start paying for some videos. You make billions of dollars year upon year upon year. You can pay a couple grand. And maybe it may be the price tag was higher for the NFL than it was for TMZ.
That shit was probably like 50 G's, bro.
That's nothing for the NFL.
You're right.
That's not even a practice squad player's salary.
You're right.
But I would imagine, and I could see this being the case, where the dollar amount for the NFL was higher than it was for TMZ. Okay. Like, oh no, y'all want it? Nah, y'all have to pay
billions and billions.
At a zero.
True.
So I don't know. It's a really touchy situation. I don't want to get too deep into like my opinion of the whole thing. Honestly, Ray Rice is actually, or not Ray Rice. Kareem Hunt is supposed to do an interview with ESPN in about an hour from this point where we're recording right now. So we haven't seen it. I don't know where that's going to come of it. I don't think it's really going to change my opinion on the situation too much. But I am interested to see what he has to say on the matter. But that's all I got. Changing topics because that's a little depressing. Baseball offseason. Moves are finally starting to be made. Teams are beginning to be shaped. The Bryce Harper sweepstakes has started. The White Sox are saying that they're front runners. I don't know if I believe that. There's some stuff you wanted to talk about, though, as far as baseball goes.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we got the Addison Russell situation.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
it's an admission of guilt.
The part that now, again, with the Kareem Hunt situation, and we're not condoning this shit by any means. It's wrong, regardless.
100%.
Do I respect him for owning up to it and taking the actions that he needs to take?
Yes.
100%, because I still want him to be a Cub. I do. No matter what the situation. I feel like he has enough talent to figure the shit out on the field.
I agree with you, and I feel like I'm going to get killed for that.
I don't care. We've seen Eddie Russ do a lot of great things in the Cub uniform in a very short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Playoffs, regular season,
Yep.
Opening day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we've seen it. So do I feel like this whole situation has been affecting him mentally and it affecting his play on the field? 100%.
Definitely.
So for him to come out and say what he said, and for Theo to say what he said, I feel like there's an understanding that they're not just gonna leave Addy in the dust and say, "Oh, this is what you did. See you later."
But also, it doesn't mean that we're just gonna forgive you without you proving
Absolutely, 100%.
Which is how that should be.
Absolutely, 100%. And you just, as far as the rest of the Cubs team goes, I mean,
however his teammates deal with him, they're 100% in the right.
Yep.
However they decide to deal with him, they're 100% in the right. And I'm not going to blame anybody for holding it against him. I'm not going to blame anybody for forgiving him. Right. Because different from you and I, who are fans that enjoy watching the Cubs and enjoy watching Addison Russell on the field, they have to spend personal time with him.
Yes.
So however they decide to deal with him from a player-to-player standpoint, they are 100% justified, minus any sort of physical abuse or hazing.
Right. 100%.
So that situation is what it is. And honestly, if that situation gets too bad, then that forces the front office's hand. If the players do not accept him back, he can't be a part of the team.
Can't.
And that's something that honestly, Theo, Jed Hoyer, Joe Madden need to get together and get the players together and say, hey, this is what's going on. We need to know how you guys feel about it, because in all honesty, if he can't fit in this locker room without being a distraction to you guys on the field and off the field, then it's not worth it for us.
Right.
As long as that's not the case and he does what he's supposed to do on his side, welcome back with open arms. He's going to have a very long road ahead of him.
Big time.
Before he even steps back on a baseball field, in all honesty.
100%.
There's never been insinuated that there's any kind of footage or anything like that, and for the longest time, this has been hearsay, and we've talked about it on this show.
All it is hearsay. I mean, there's still no investigation.
Right.
There's still no...
Baseball did their own investigation.
True. There's still no charges, though. There's still no police reports. There's still a lot of information that's missing where...
There is a lot of information missing, but I'll say this. Baseball did get something because... they didn't leave it in limbo. They said, no, we got enough to say that you're suspended.
True.
So now, and when this happened, we said, y'all decided to suspend him without any real evidence. Maybe there was some real evidence there. And I don't know what it is, but hey, NFL, this is how you do an investigation. Because Addison Russell, after the fact, admitted guilt without any video surveillance. Kareem Hunt doesn't have to admit guilt. Ray Rice doesn't have to admit guilt.
True.
Addison Russell doesn't have to admit guilt because there's no proof, but he's out here saying, I fucked up. So, however the situation goes, I mean, we are going to pay attention to it, but in all honesty, it's going to be on the back burner as far as like baseball goes. We'll see.
What are your broad expectations for offseason?
There is... there's the two big names in free agency, Manny Machado and Bryce Harper, where they're going to go. That's going to dictate a lot. There is this, the Cubs are listening to offers for Chris Bryant.
Him and Joe Madden got 1 year left each, right?
Bryant and Joe?
I believe so.
Okay.
No. I know Joe Madden does.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, Chris Bryant didn't want to sign the extension until after this season.
Which is scary.
Very, because you got Joe Madden with 1 more year left.
Uh-huh.
They don't make any noise, and I mean World Series noise. I don't mean making it to the playoffs.
Yeah,
if you even consider that this past season. Because I fucking don't.
It didn't feel like it, did it?
Are you fucking kidding me?
It definitely didn't feel.
And it's weird to say, like, we've obviously been Cubs fans for a long time, so we understand that you lose. We've lost a lot. Yeah. So for our expectations to be any higher, it's kind of foolish on our part,
Mm-hmm.
but we also know what kind of talent they're putting on the field every day.
We know what kind of talent they've put on the field, and for the last 4 years, you've been considered a World Series contender.
I mean, one out of 4 ain't bad though.
1 out of 4 is not bad.
I'll take that
1,000 times over. I'll take that
over and over again.
But it feels like you didn't win enough. It feels like you should have won more. The first year against the Mets weren't ready, so that was house money.
So for us to knock out the Cardinals, it was fuck you.
That was our World Series, in all honesty. When we knocked out the Cardinals,
Big facts.
That was like
Big
all right, cool.
facts.
Whatever happens now, whatever.
Facts.
We beat you, motherfuckers. That have been talking shit to us all season.
Facts.
The
Best team in baseball.
The next
Facts.
year, you were supposed to win, and you did.
Supposed to.
Well, coming off of the expectations from the season before,
I wouldn't say supposed to, but I would say high confidence in getting there this time. Because when we got there, it was
shaky.
We're still Cubs fans.
Well,
we've still seen them.
So on paper, you were the best team throughout.
True.
You had one chink in your armor, and it was known that you needed a real closer. You went and got that closer.
True.
So there was really, outside of
the other chink was Schwarber being out for the whole season, though. Too. I mean, that hurt.
But they were the best team without him.
True.
He basically went out in Game 3. So with all that going on, you played the entire season. You were the best team in baseball. You were the number one in the power rankings every single week. When the playoffs came, okay, now it's time. Besides the fact that the only excuse that you had is, it's the Cubs. Mm-hmm. There was no real reason why they shouldn't have won that World Series. Granted, it looked shaky against the Indians, but they got it done.
Yeah.
You follow that up to the next season. Defending champs, World Series hangover. It's been a party all year. Now you get to the NLCS, you're facing the Dodgers, who are hungry. They're hungry, and they're hitting home runs like it ain't shit. You got bested in that series. You deserve to be bested in that series. You did.
Dodgers fucking suck too, by the way. I don't give a fuck if
they're great against us.
I don't give a fuck if they win the 2 straight World Series. They fucking suck.
And then I think the real disappointment was last year. Last
Big
season was
can't win a wild card game?
I can live with the results of the previous 3 seasons. Perfectly fine. It is what it is. Me and you were at that game. The Dodgers were a better team. Hands down.
Standard procedure.
Right. Last year, the way that it went down, especially in the last month.
You got Brandon Morrow down. You got Pedro Strop down. I mean, you got
self-inflicted.
You got pitchers that come to play week in and week out every day,
mm-hmm.
and now they're not playing for the last month.
Self-inflicted because both of those injuries were due to fatigue and overuse.
Because Joe Madden, another thing, love Joe Madden to death. Yeah. 490 win seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of the fucking mad scientist shit. Right or wrong?
This isn't Tampa Bay. Let's stop being cute.
You gotta chill the fuck out, dude.
Agreed.
You cannot pull your starters in the 5th inning and expect your fucking sorry ass bullpen, if you even want to call it a bullpen, to finish the game. You can't. We don't have Aroldis Chapman sitting there waiting to come in the 9th inning and kill things.
No.
So it's almost like with Aroldis Chapman, it's almost like you're playing an 8-inning game. Because
True.
9 times out of 10, when he comes in that 9th inning, what do you got to worry about? There are those blunders, and I've seen it happen when he was a Yankee, and I've seen it happen when he was a Cub.
Yeah. But,
okay, 8 times out of 10, you know that 9th inning is going to be a shutout.
Yeah.
Sometimes a 9-pitch shutout, depending on how good his stuff is. So we don't have an 8-inning game anymore. You got to figure it the fuck out with your bullpen.
Shit, we've had 14-inning games.
And with them getting rid of Tommy La Stella, I don't like that.
For cash.
I don't like that. Because it says right here, Joe Madden once said Tommy La Stella could wake up at 3 a.m. ready to hit any pitcher in baseball. I wouldn't deny that.
No.
The man was a fucking pinch-hitting stud.
Mm-hmm.
And you just let him go.
He was the best pinch hitter in baseball last year.
Do I trust Theo? 100%. So they better figure this bullpen shit out.
Mm-hmm.
They got rid of the hitting coach like we said was going to happen.
Oh, yeah. That was the easiest thing to predict in the world.
They got a new pitching coach. Dude. This season is big for this dynasty. Let me rephrase that. It's not a dynasty. I'm sorry. We've only won one World Series.
Yeah.
But for this group of players that we have and the way we acquired them and the way we developed them, this is a big season.
Yeah.
As a whole.
This season is going to dictate the next 10 years of the Cubs. In all honesty. Like, that sounds exaggerated, but it's really not. Joe Madden could leave this year. Chris Bryant could leave. You've got the whole core of your team could be gone next year. Rizzo is another year older. And granted, he still hit his numbers. It was ugly. It was really ugly. I'm impressed that he was able to get there. But you've got another piece of your core. Addison Russell is basically going to be gone the entire year, let's face it. Addison Russell's not going to play a second of baseball next year. He's not.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Even with him only being suspended 40 games?
I think...
Or is it just because we're going to have Daniel Murphy and Javi Baez?
I think that
I don't think Darvish is going to play a lick of baseball.
I forgot.
That's the one I don't think is going to play a lick of baseball.
I kind of agree with that too. With Addison Russell, for him to be going away to improve himself mentally, this is a long road that he's on, and it's a hard fight.
He is.
And even if he is prepared, I think he still has to show the Cubs a lot of stuff. And I think they're just going to look at this like, you know what? Take this year off. Don't even worry about baseball. Worry about life.
Yeah, but you also got to remember from the time that he got suspended, was that still the regular season or was that after the season was over?
It was the last day.
Okay, so you're talking the first week of November.
Yeah.
He has all the way up until May-ish, 40 games, June-ish.
Probably June.
So he's got from now until June to get his shit together.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long fucking time. If you do what you have to do every day, week in and week out, and go see your therapist and talk to who you need to talk to and work out and whatever your routine is, that's a long fucking time.
Agreed.
So I could almost agree with you that he might not play a lick just because of who we have in his positions, but I think he'll be ready.
I'll say this too, because this is another part that the organization has to worry about: image. As far as you can rationally look at it and say he's basically been working on this since November.
You know how many people didn't want to Aroldis Chapman because he did whatever he did with his wife, ex-wife, girlfriend?
Let me tell you something. People are still pissed about the Aroldis Chapman trade.
Get the fuck over it. I still don't condone the shit, but it doesn't affect you personally. Right or wrong.
True.
If your husband's beating you, your problem. That has nothing to do with who the Cubs sign or what Kareem Hunt does. Don't watch the NFL then. Don't watch the MLB. But nobody cares about you complaining about it.
I want to alter the way you said that, maybe, if you want to. Not necessarily that nobody cares. It's just that this situation, he's paid for whatever he's paid for.
Right.
Everybody
you're not
deserves
his
a
judgment.
redemption.
You're not his judgment.
Yes.
That's not your job.
Okay.
Okay.
I can live with that.
You feel what you know what I'm saying? You're not his judgment. He already faced that, whether he got suspended or whatever he had to do. So nobody cares that you're judging him. If you don't like him, don't watch him.
Because there's some people that believe that if you do have like an abuse situation, that you should be kicked out of the league. You shouldn't be allowed to play whatever sport it is. And I do believe everybody deserves redemption, but I only believe in one extra shot.
100%.
So that's my stance on it. And, the whole thing is whatever it is. The Cubs got a lot of question marks. And it honestly, right now, if you're looking at it, it does not look good.
It's a big question mark. There's one big question mark over the Cubs organization.
Yeah. Because the issues that they have they're getting worse. You let a relief pitcher go. Let him walk. And at this point, we ain't got nobody, so I'm mad about it.
I mean, we still got Stroke, but Carl Edwards never panned out. Get him the fuck out of there.
That is, it's 99% a failed experiment. 99%, 100%. I am almost willing to absolutely say it's a failed experiment. It's 99% there.
Bye. Get gone. Still got Mike Montgomery. Getting older. Brandon Morrow, another year older.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have all these bats in the lineup you want, but
Pitching.
if you are giving up just as many runs as you're scoring, you don't win the game.
When you won the World Series, you had the lowest ERA of all teams.
This is John Lester's last year, right?
This is year
He started in 15.
year 4.
Yeah.
This is year 4 of his deal.
Didn't he only sign a 4-year deal?
I can't remember if it was 4 or 5, but you might be right. You might be right.
I know Ben Zobrist. This is his.
Oh no, this is year 5 of his deal.
Who?
Lester. So yeah, this
15,
is the end of his
16,
deal.
17.
18.
Oh.
We're going into 2019.
Shit.
This is the end of John Lester's deal.
Damn.
Get depressed.
For real.
It's not looking good. It's really not looking good. We got the one, and I'm happy about the one. But as far as like the Cubs go, it's not looking good. Where do you think Bryce Harper ends up?
I mean, how does somebody even begin to answer that fucking question? Who are his main contenders?
The last list that I saw, it was the White Sox, the Cubs,
How
the
about
Nationals.
how about Cano going to the Mets? Did you hear about that?
I didn't hear about that, but I don't know if
Robinson Cano and Edwin Diaz.
is that going to work.
Edwin Diaz, you know who that is, right?
Yes, but is that going to work with the Mets?
I don't know, but Edwin Diaz had motherfucking 58, 59, 60-something saves last year.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, that would help the Syndergaard situation,
Yeah.
but they still have to score on the other side, and Robinson Cano does help with that, but he's older.
I don't know where Bryce is going to go, dude.
Does he go for money or does he go to win championships?
I mean, what do you feel like's been the trend across all major sports?
Money.
Money. They don't fucking care.
With the exception of Kevin Durant, it's all money.
Don't even get me started on him.
Look, here's my this is what I'm gonna say about KD.
Bro, rings are just earned different nowadays, bro.
They are.
That's
You're
all.
100% right. But
He's balling.
We get on players for taking the money and not trying to win a championship. Granted, KD went a little overboard.
A little overboard. He pulled the hoest move of all hoe moves, bro.
But he made a move to win a championship.
Yeah. The only thing that helps his championships out, and 100%, is the fact that he won the MVP both times.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't think he should have won last year.
Because
that's my opinion.
The Warriors did it without KD. But don't forget, you need us. We don't need you.
And that is Draymond's entire point.
And Draymond needs to stick to it. Bruh. You need us, homie.
That is why. Look, I'm on Draymond's side as far as that.
Y'all had us counted out in 3-1 when you were in OKC, and y'all couldn't get the job done. Don't forget, you need us.
Mm-hmm.
But him getting MVPs does help him out.
Yeah.
But it's money. It's money. It's money all the time. I mean, if you're worth $300 million, are you going to take 190?
Very rarely do you see that. You don't see that from top end players.
Does it guarantee me a ring?
That is the question, and that is why guys constantly take the money over the championship, because me going to a team that's got a better shot doesn't guarantee me shit. So I could take less money and still not win a ring. Now what am I doing?
True. But
I don't know what to say to that.
Don't act like you don't have Nike. Don't act like you don't have all these sponsors that are paying you X amount of millions every year.
Not to sound like an asshole, you can get by with 190 million.
You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. I promise. Okay.
And if
I'm still alive.
And if you don't, I'll be here to crack those jokes on you.
You'll figure it out. Trust me. If you didn't get to that point by being a dummy.
Antoine Walker ass.
A lot of NBA players though.
Vince Young, NFL too.
A lot, yeah. But Vince Young didn't make that much.
But he didn't have to spend all that money at the Cheesecake Factory either. Could have bought one, homie. Just buy one.
And eat for free and still make it. I don't know, man. They're both Machado and Harper. are both 26-year-olds that could easily get paid $300 million a year.
So Manny Machado, since you brought his name up, he basically, do you see, like, he wrote a letter in the LA Times?
Where does he want to stay?
No, it was basically saying thank you. Like,
for what?
For the experience and everything. It sounded like a goodbye letter. It sounded very much like a goodbye letter. It's like, I really enjoyed my time here. Thank you for the opportunity.
I hope, because they gave a shitload of shit up for Manny Machado, and I hope he doesn't re-sign with the
And they did,
Dodgers.
they did what the fucking Lakers have been doing for the last 15 years. We'll get him here because he's never going to leave. That doesn't work anymore.
Where do you not want to see Machado and Harper go?
There's only one team that I care that they not go to.
Yankees?
No, I don't care. 'Cause if Bryce Harper goes to the Yankees, that will fail. That will absolutely fail.
That's what I said about Stanton.
Are we willing to say that it succeeded?
They put up numbers.
But at what cost?
Yeah, I mean, nobody was beating Boston, so it didn't matter.
They lost timely hitting. And
True.
Whatever you think of him, that's what Starlin Castro became.
True.
He became timely hitting. So I'm saying the Stanton thing was a wash. It wasn't an improvement, in my opinion. It was a wash at best. Yeah, you upped your home run numbers, but you lowered your batting average. Your batting average is more important than the home run numbers. I'm sorry, It just is. Bryce Harper going to the Yankees will fail. It will absolutely fail because he's going to further drop your batting average. Where are you going to put him?
One of them, Bryce Harper or Machado, one of them is going to Philly.
That's interesting. They got a shitload of money too.
One of them will go to Philly.
Yeah. And Philly wasn't bad last year. They just ran out of gas.
Because when you really think about it, bro, baseball season's only a couple months away. Pitchers and catchers report early February. So whatever happens, it's going to happen soon.
You know what that means? It's time to go to Arizona. We don't work together anymore. I got a place.
True. True. It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's definitely possible.
With the fucking shit that's going on outside, I don't want to be here anymore. Wait. Side topic. Completely fuck off of sports. You were home last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
You heard that thunderstorm?
Mm-hmm.
Did it make your house shake?
I mean, it was loud, but I also was passed out.
Fucking kitchen table just started shaking. What the fuck?
I believe it. Yeah, we've been getting fucked up storms up here. Shit, last Monday, dude, I don't even know. Were you guys able to move around last Monday?
Yeah.
Really?
I had to wait, but yeah.
I was going to say, dude, because the roads at fucking 4:50 in the morning, I had to call off work.
Damn.
But I also live 68 miles away from where I work. You know what I mean? So
I have a 4x4.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
But I couldn't even get out of the fucking neighborhood.
Yeah, there was a lot of that on Monday. Baseball is...
It's still a little too early to talk about it, but I figured it wouldn't hurt to.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't know where Bryce is going to go because... And he's hamming this shit up, too. He's on the cover of MLB The Show without a uniform on, intentionally. He's been parading around in all these cities, basically going to Chicago, just hanging out, having a blast.
Hey, you can come.
He's trolling.
You can come.
He's trolling. The White Sox say they think they got a better chance than the Cubs do.
With all due respect. And I mean with all due respect. You think he's going to go to the fucking White Sox?
All due respect means without any respect at all.
Yes. He's not. That's the fucking lad. They ain't ready to fucking win. They just lost their best fucking pitcher to Tommy John surgery.
White Sox fans, on a realistic note, you guys are 2 years away.
2 years away from what? Being 500?
Legitimately contending.
Fuck no. Fuck no.
I'm not letting you guys talk me out of another penny.
Fuck no. What do they have that makes you say that? Eloy Jimenez still in AA?
I mean, in a 2-year span, that will change. It has to change.
Okay.
If it doesn't...
I'm saying, okay, so this year, you said 2 years away. 2 years after this season or including this season?
This season is year one.
Okay. No.
Following
so
season,
okay, so even if Eloy does get up to AAA,
okay,
he ain't gonna be ready in 2 years. What else do they got?
He's not gonna be ready in 2 years. If he's not ready in 2 years, then he needs to go.
True. Okay, I feel you. What else do they got?
They got more to trade. You can accumulate. You get a superstar. You get one of these Bryce Harper, Manny Machado players. You're a lot closer than not.
Bro, you do realize we're talking about the White Sox here. You see how lucky we got in our rebuild, and you think that's going to happen on the South Side?
No.
I'm not too proud to say it. We got extremely fucking lucky.
We talking about those heaters?
Just everything.
Everything lined up.
Addie Russ, the way he came up. Kyle Schwarber, the way he came up. The way Javi, just the way everybody came up.
Mm-hmm.
And us getting Chapman and saying goodbye to Torres. And then just the way everything happened was just extremely perfect.
Stars aligned, 100%.
That does not happen.
No.
And I'll tell you fucking what is not going to happen on 35th Street in Chicago. There's no fucking way. There's no way. And I hate to sound like a hater because...
You do sound actually...
I do. It's not going to happen, bro. Come on. What do they have that's showing you that they're going to be good? I mean, you got Tim Anderson, an average shortstop. Their third baseman, the white boy, what's his name? Whatever the fuck is. He's a young kid. He's a fucking stud. So, okay, I'll give you that. But other than that, Jose Abreu, another 2 years older. I know he's young, but he ain't Rizzo. He's not consistent like that.
Defensively, you're 100%
what do you
right.
have in the pitching rotation? You lost Quintana 2 years ago.
How much of a loss was that, though?
He was good.
Then, for them, yeah.
Right.
For them, he was great.
And now you just lost Kopech to a Tommy John surgery for a whole season? So you're saying that year 2 they're going to be ready to contend in his first year back, in his first full regular season? 3 to 4?
We'll see.
I'll give you that.
That's a lot. And baseball rebuilds don't take that long. They don't.
That's why it's not going to happen.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see 2020.
We will.
Okay.
2020. White Sox will be in 3rd place in the AL Central.
All right. What else we got? What else we got on the docket? Oh, we got. All right. You guys wanted us to talk college football, right? Tom, don't you ever ask me to talk Michigan football ever again.
Y'all can't beat Ohio State.
You guys got stopped. First off, I was gonna let you lick.
First of all,
I'll be honest with you. Hold on. I feel bad about Tom because I texted him like, "Bro, what happened?" You know what his response to me was?
Nothing.
No, he texted me back. I kind of felt bad when he texted me back. He said, "You know what, man? They're just a superior team and have been for the last 20 years." That man is broken.
Damn.
Bro, I was like, damn, all right, I believe you alone.
Yeah, no. They can't beat them, bro. They can't.
All right, I'll let you live now because clearly that game did something to you. But Alabama versus Georgia for the SEC championship game. Alabama clearly ranked number 1, best team in football, not even a question, against Georgia, the runner-up in the BCS championship last year. A really good team in their own right. In 4th place and basically playing for their college playoff football lives. The only thing that was going to guarantee them getting in was a win against Alabama, who is the best team in the country.
They were losing at one point. I really thought Georgia was going to win the game.
And
like the real.
Kirby Smart is a Nick Saban disciple. He knows how that team works. He understands the whole scheme. And going into halftime, he looked like he had something. He really did. Alabama's quarterback, whose name I am not even going to try to say, hadn't thrown an interception all season. Joe, he hadn't thrown a pick all season.
Tago Viola.
That's exactly what I was trying to avoid.
But Jalen Hurts had to come in and finish the shit.
He got injured and he threw an interception. So he threw his first interception. He got injured. Jalen Hurts comes in, not known for his throwing arm. Leads Alabama back for the victory. Georgia, late in the fourth quarter, did a fake punt attempt. Did you see that? Horrible play call. Absolutely horrible. They had a backup quarterback on the field that had never been on special teams at all before. As soon as the ball was hiked, it was hiked directly to the quarterback. The defense sniffed it out immediately, sacked him. Now Alabama's got a short field in about 3 minutes to go. Drive down, get the touchdown. Now Georgia's only got a minute to have to score a touchdown. You punt the ball, you pin them deep in. Maybe Alabama still scores, but you have a little bit more idea of what the offense is going to do with Jalen Hurts at quarterback. And I think that's where Kirby Smart kind of outthought himself. After the game, he had a press conference and basically said, more or less, Alabama don't want to run it back, though.
I mean, but Nick Saban also said we don't necessarily want to play them again.
Oh, Nick Saban agreed. Yeah, no. Nick Saban said, no, you're right. I don't want that smoke. You lost. But out of the 3 teams in question to get that 4th spot, Georgia, Oklahoma, Ohio State, I think Georgia is clearly the team that's going to give Alabama their best test. But how do you justify giving Georgia that spot?
I mean, who are you going to give it to then? Oklahoma, Ohio State? I mean, they're all still one-loss teams. At least Georgia's loss was in the championship game.
And against the best team in the country.
So Georgia's... But you also know how this funky-ass shit works, bro.
Oh, it makes no sense to me.
None. At fucking all.
That's why I don't ever want to talk about it.
So we could find Ohio State at number 6 being in there. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just because they won the Big Ten.
Right.
It's Power 5.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what the fuck's going to happen?
Oklahoma's in a Power 5.
The goddamn fucking committee don't even know how to do the goddamn shit.
Mm-mm.
They just do it.
They change their reasonings every year.
So what's concrete? Because we've seen undefeated teams not make it.
Concrete is that Alabama's going to make it no matter what happens.
Yep. And we've also seen two lost teams make it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Alabama being one of them.
There's no concrete evidence anywhere on what deciphers who's going to be in it and who's not going to be in it.
Yeah. I think, because, I mean, I guess the time in which you lose has mattered. And that's why I say it's hard to keep Georgia in there in the top 4, because you'd think that somebody would have to move ahead of them since they won and Georgia lost. But let's face it, Georgia held their own against the team that we all consider is a definite best team in the country.
Because Notre Dame ain't going to come that close to Alabama. Fuck no.
Clemson could.
Yeah.
But Notre Dame, I agree with you.
No.
I do want to see Notre Dame play Alabama.
I want to see Notre Dame lose like by 90.
Yes.
I hate Notre Dame.
Yes.
And their fans.
Same.
Y'all suck.
Kind of. Yeah. So, I think it's supposed to be the 4 best teams. If that's the case, Georgia has to still be in it. They do.
Right.
But if we're talking about...
Well, how do you not make a case for Oklahoma and Ohio State? Michigan, obviously, fuck no.
Yeah, no. If Ohio State's not in it, Michigan's not in it.
So those top 6 teams, I mean, other than Alabama and Clemson and Notre Dame, you got 3 teams filling in that last spot.
Exactly.
And out of those 3 teams, how do you not take Georgia?
Yeah. Georgia's got the best loss of the 3.
Right.
Ohio State lost to Purdue.
Right. Not lost.
Yeah, you're right.
Not lost.
Yeah, they got
fucking mollywopped.
Mm-hmm. Oklahoma lost to Texas, which they did redeem themselves.
When it counted.
They did redeem themselves.
But if you're talking about best team in that scenario, there's no reason why Georgia should be ousted just because they lost to Alabama.
One game to Alabama and a close game where you lost in the last minute.
Right.
So I don't know what the committee is going to do. It's hard to tell. It's not like pro sports where it's like, okay, they got to do this to get in.
Right.
And it's clear cut.
Right.
I don't know how Georgia gets in now, but I don't see how you leave them out. So I don't know. That's why I don't like really talking college sports, because the shit's fucking stupid. The playoff format, Make it 8 teams. It's a lot easier to figure out who the top 8 teams are. And then guess what? Georgia's in it, Oklahoma's in it, Ohio State's in it, even Michigan.
But if you're gonna do that, then you gotta cut a game out of the regular season. Because now if you're adding 8 teams,
there's a month off.
True.
Just start the playoffs a week early, or you know what? Better yet, add 6 teams, give 1 and 2 a bye. Do it like we do in our fantasy league.
Mm-hmm. True.
There's a way to figure this out, and it probably is more lucrative for college sports because guess what? Since you started the college football playoff, all those bowl games don't mean shit. Nobody watches them
Nobody
anymore.
cares about them.
Right. They're not the playoff. I don't care anymore. I don't care about the Rose Bowl anymore. I don't care about the Tostitos Bowl. I don't care about the Orange Bowl. Fuck all that shit. It's not the championship.
Right.
Add more championship games. You got anything you want to add to that?
Mm-mm.
All right, that's our college football breakdown. Don't leave us alone. Now, we're going to talk about the team that Joe hates more than any team in the entire world, guys. Duke basketball.
Who?
The Blue Devils. Zion Williams.
Don't know.
Zion Williams.
Who's that?
Williamson. Just Zion.
No idea.
6'7", 285 pounds. Chiseled.
RJ Barrett's better.
Offensively, yeah. He's got more offensive weapons to him.
RJ Barrett's going to be a Chicago Bull.
The Bulls are going to fuck that up.
We're going to suck that bad. We're going to have the number 2 pick.
I'm upset that we have 5 wins already.
I'm not.
How do we get 5 wins?
Who gives a shit? We got 5 fucking wins.
Should have
3. I love it. 2. Fuck it. None. We should have not won a game.
We beat the Suns and I was pissed. Anyway, RJ Barrett, Zion Williamson. Those are clear-cut 2 best players coming up in the draft, right?
I'm not going to argue it.
Now, me and you have a bet.
That you're not going to win.
Okay. About who's going to win the ACC.
It's either Duke wins or North Carolina wins.
If anybody else comes up and surprises, then this is a wash.
It's a wash.
We'll still go get sushi,
okay.
but
it's a wash.
I'm paying my bill, you pay yours.
Right.
So you've got this Duke basketball team, which opening night.
Let me ask you a question before we start this.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
So since Duke won with Tyus and Winslow and Okafor, have they
4 years ago, right?
Give or take, I think it was 2015.
Okay.
14, 15, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Since they've won that,
Sure.
have they or have they not had probably the most hype every year coming in? Best recruiting class every year. Dude,
They've been a top 5 recruiting class. I don't think they've had the best recruiting class.
You want to look? Pull it up on your laptop.
All right, go. I'll look it up. Keep talking. I'm listening.
Because you can say all this shit, but when it comes down to it, who loses in the first round to Mercer? Who loses in the second round to whoever the fuck it is? Granted, I'm not saying North Carolina's any better because we've had the same situation, but we've never had recruiting classes like Duke has. We've rarely had the hype like Duke has. We went to back-to-back national championships.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, probably should have won that first one, but, shit happens.
Right.
And Villanova's won 2 out of 3 now. So that's pretty fucking good. But Duke can beat us all they want. I don't give a shit. But when it comes down to the tournament and the ACC tournament, who prevails? Not saying Duke doesn't, but they've had a lot of hype in the last few years to lose in the first round, second round.
I agree with you that they've, in the tournament especially, they've lost sooner than they should have.
My argument is they've never had a team like this.
Yes, that's actually where I was going to say next.
They've never had a team like this. This team is unfucking believable. But it's still fuck Duke. Kansas almost lost yesterday too. That was a good game. I watched most of that.
So Duke's one loss this season is against a really good Gonzaga team. That's now number 1 in the country.
We lost to Michigan, and we lost to Texas. Both ranked teams, mind you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like the loss is a bad loss, but I was a little shocked by it. Just the way that they came out and played against Kentucky in that first game, it made it really hard.
That also shows how overrated Kentucky was to come into the season.
That could be right.
Duke was not overrated by any fucking means.
All right, so you say 15 is when they won the
I believe that's when they won.
That's probably right. Okay, yeah, they had the number one recruiting class every year since.
I'm telling you, bro. Everybody wants to play for Coach K, which I'll never downplay Coach K.
No, you can't.
Ever.
You absolutely can't.
Duke as an organization, you can't downplay them either because they're good. They are. But by natural rivalry and natural hatred, fuck Duke. But you have to tip their hat to them.
Yeah, no, you respect them. You just can't stand them.
There is not a team in college basketball that is as good as Duke. And I don't care what the rankings say.
Okay.
Kansas, we know what Kansas is.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas is an outstanding team, regular season team, tournament, Big 12 tournament, whatever, 14 in a row, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
That's unfucking believable. But in that span, you got one natty ship.
And it was a while ago.
One.
Yeah.
2010, I believe. You got one. I'm not saying we're doing much better, but we don't have that year in and year out hype around North Carolina. You don't.
And you also have a team in your conference that is every bit got the same lore to you, where
right.
Kansas does not have a true threat in their conference.
No, but they do have the Oklahomas and the Texases and the random teams that'll give it to them. I mean, fuck, bro. West Virginia coach, what's his name? Bob Huggins?
Yeah.
He's got a clause in his contract. Every time he beats Kansas, he gets a bonus.
Yeah, he loves that bonus.
And he beats Kansas.
He does.
You know what I mean? So there's teams in every conference that'll give you the go.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as North Carolina goes, you don't find the one and dones there. They go there 4 years. They go there 3 years. Duke is turning into a one and done school.
Oh yeah, it started with Kyrie Irving, and it wasn't on purpose.
No,
Coach K did not want Kyrie Irving to leave. He thought he should have stayed. And you can say whatever you want if he was right or not, just based off of how the first handful of years of Kyrie's career went. But after that, Coach K embraced the one and done.
Yeah, it's almost turning into a Kentucky type team.
It's a Kentucky type team with better coaching.
Way better coaching.
Because what Calipari brings is he's a good motivator. I don't think he's a very good X's and O guy. I don't.
No.
Where Coach K is a good motivator, and he's a good X's and O guy. I think that as far as this Duke team is concerned, that Gonzaga loss was probably one of the best things that could have happened to him. Because Coach K basically, and I can guess what he said. He's like, you guys are probably the most talented team in college football, but if you don't step on that court ready every single night, that's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. You're going to see that Gonzaga team later.
Yeah. You're going to see Kansas. You're going to see all these teams later on if everything goes right. You got to see North Carolina twice.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly 3 times if we...
Could be 4.
Could be 4.
That's
you never know. But as far as the Duke team goes, you can't discredit them. I mean,
they're fun to watch.
They're smacking people in the mouth. They're not slowing up.
No.
But the hype around them is exactly what I want. I love that. Keep hyping them up.
You want the hype, so if they lose.
It's not if, bro. It's when with this team.
You think that they're... See, it's really hard to give, like, their past issues to this team.
Right, because they don't compare.
Right.
But it's the same with every other sport. Oh, that team did this, or this team did that.
I'm going to let you make your little proclamation, because when you say things so emphatically, you know you're wrong every time, right?
Me?
Yes.
What am I wrong about?
Washington.
Washington who? The Capitals?
The city as a whole, not winning championships.
Oh my God.
There was another one where I got mad at you about, I think. Hold up, what was it? It was Milwaukee. You said there was no chance that the Milwaukee Bucks had.
The Bucks?
Milwaukee Brewers.
Where did they finish this season?
Ahead of the Cubs.
By how much?
Enough.
No, I don't care. They didn't win.
Look, man, you saw Fast and Furious. It don't matter if it's by an inch or a mile.
An L is an L. They didn't win the ship.
Wait. There's another championship that we talked about. Oh, no. Okay. Well, I'll remember it because I wanted to text you about this shit.
Remember it. Write it down. Take a picture. Because year in and year out, Duke has the most hype, and they don't do nothing.
Okay. So
you can't have the number one recruiting class for the last 4 years and not win a goddamn ring.
You shouldn't.
You should.
You really shouldn't.
Plain and simple.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Shit, man. I think we got any Players of the Week nominees for you?
I don't fucking know. I really haven't even been watching sports, dude, to be honest with you.
Oh, man. This is what happens when Smack Talks is on a break for a little bit, but it's okay.
Who you going with? Did you watch any of that Tiger Phil, by the way? Because I didn't watch a lick of it.
I don't even know who won.
Phil won.
What?
Phil won. I didn't watch any
That's
of it, though.
crazy. No, I didn't watch any of it. I have no idea. I wish that there was somewhere I could see highlights on. I'm going to check on YouTube to see if there are, but no, I didn't see any of it.
I want to see him. I want to hear him talking smack.
That's what I want to see. I forgot about it until I texted you about him. By then, it was already over and shit. Yeah. Turkey Day was... That whole weekend was like a blur. Mm-hmm. Drank way too much alcohol.
Player of the week, though, I don't know. Who's killing it in the NBA?
KD just dropped 50 and lost.
Wasn't that a stat for them, though? Every time KD drops 50, they tend to lose.
Yeah, they do. Like, he needed to drop that 50, but it wasn't enough. Shit. Honestly... you know what? I'm going to give my Player of the Week to Steph Curry.
Why?
Because he's back, and all is back.
Who cares?
All is right in Golden State world now.
Who cares?
Steph Curry missing the however many games he missed.
They lost 4 in a row.
They did.
That was the first time in Steve Kerr era.
It was. But you know who wasn't on the court?
Steph
Curry. Steph has him being out this stretch more so than any other stretch has proven why, one, this is still his team, two, why he should always be considered for as an MVP, and three, why he is a top flight player.
Yeah.
When all that Draymond KD shit was happening, they said, Steph, we need you on this road trip. Keep shit kosher. We know you're not going to play, but we need you here.
Yeah.
And they won 3 straight and everything was looking good. They did go on a 4-game loop. They did, they went on the 3-game winning streak after that. Then they lost to Toronto. That happens. Toronto's one of the best teams in the NBA. Mm-hmm. And one of the few players that could actually guard KD, even though he did drop 50. But Steph rights that ship. He is the core of that team.
Agree.
KD can leave tomorrow. Bye. You're still a championship contender. Steph's gone? No. You're not winning a ship without Steph Curry. You're not.
No, because you don't have a point guard.
And even if you get an all-star point guard, there's not very many that's going to be able to do what Steph does the way that he does it.
For real, you can go from dropping 50 to getting 14 assists.
Yeah.
On any given night.
And it's whatever the team needs. That's what he does. True. He doesn't play outside of whatever the team needs that night.
True.
And also you add in that he can bomb away from any point on the court for 3.
Mm-hmm.
So Steph Curry's value to me just shot up, and that's why he's going to get whatever he wants money-wise from Golden State Warriors. Oh, yeah. They can never let him walk.
Oh yeah. About to be a 4-time champion? 3-time champion? How many do they got? They got 3.
He's got 3.
Mm-hmm. About to be a 4-time champion.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
He up there.
You got any worthwhile nominees? None?
Nada.
Right. Okay. I know I said on a previous episode that we would if possible we would talk about some of the reasons why we didn't have episodes or messed up, shorthanded episodes.
Life.
Yeah, we're just gonna leave it at life.
Sorry. It happened.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it at life, even though it's an interesting story. We're not gonna talk about it.
It's life.
It's life. Other than that, you'll see us next week. We did have a whole nother episode planned for you guys today. Some things came up and we couldn't do that. Once again, life. That being said, hopefully next week we'll be able to do it. We've got basically a top 10.
We've got a few exciting episodes that we're trying to get going. We just gotta, I guess, find the right people to talk about them. Me and Zach are sick of talking to each other, I guess.
All right. You said it, not me. I don't want to watch this video again. All right. This has been another episode of Smack Talk, Leave It on the Court. Thank you, everybody, for listening and being patient. I did see the DMs. I did see the text messages. I did hear you on the phone calls. We are still doing this podcast. Do not worry. We'll be back next week, the week after that, so on and so forth. This is Smack Talk, Leave It on the Court. Thank you, guys.